Welcome everybody to Week 12 Showdown Fantasy Football DFS. The Pittsburgh Steelers heading to the Dawg Pound to take on them damn Cleveland Browns. What's up, dudes?
What it do?
What up?
Nick Chubb revenge game here. It's I want Nick Chubb to just truck stick the shit out of old boy, the safety. What's his name?
Fitzpatrick?
Yes, Minka. Yes. Just truck stick the shit out of him. Just like, hey, you remember me? That was my leg dangling. Thank you very much. Yeah, it could be a slow game, but anyways, let's talk a little bit about week 11. Sorry, Brad. Your Jags just didn't even put up a fight, man. It was kind of sad.
We called that though.
I know,
That's
but I didn't even think that. I just felt like they didn't even put up a fight though, like at all. Like this, are they totally checked out? I feel like Doug Peterson's his press conferences, or he's just checked the fuck out. So
it seems like that. I know that some of the local radio guys were saying that they could tell even pregame that the guys seemed a little bit on the checked out side, and that kind of transition into the game, and it went so quickly. We set a bunch of records. Woo! Unfortunately, they were bad records, so it doesn't help. But I guess it's kind of cool to make the history books. If you try to look at it on the brighter side.
Well, adios, Brad.
We lost him.
Catch you next time.
We lost him. Well,
that had to have been like a power kick right there because he wasn't even lagging.
Yeah, it just like totally died off. It's like computer died. Well, needless to say, the 52 to there he is.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what just happened there.
I don't know. We just like, where'd he go?
I was giving too much Jags hate, and they cut me right on off of there. I didn't realize that they were watching.
And Tony said, you thought you was a fan? Nah.
Hello, Shad. Hello to Jags organization. I'm sorry about that. But no, it just seemed that things kind of slipped away, unfortunately. But that there was talk of potentially of some GM changes or some head coach changes, and then that kind of never materialized. So I guess maybe something might happen at the end of the year, but it seems to me like all roads are kind of pointing to that. So I guess I'm just gonna have to start looking to see what are the best head coach candidates available. Ben Johnson probably, I guess, is the best option. The guy who just beat us up on Sunday.
Ben Johnson. I mean, even Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator. I mean, at this point, as long as you get a good offensive coordinator, I don't even know if you can even say that a defensive coach is a bad thing now with some of the good coaches in the league. Hell, a special teams coach right now is where it's at. I mean, look at Coach Riz down there in New Orleans, just unlock something in Taysom Hill, baby. Like, he's like, I saw this guy on special teams down here throwing touchdowns, running touchdowns.
That would have been me as a coach, man. I've been calling Taysom Hill forever, dude. Like, dude is an athlete, man. There's no reason he should have been behind Jameis Winston or anybody for that matter. Dude, give him the ball and watch him shine. Sit.
I mean,
I think the Wildcat package that they have for him is perfect to utilize his skill set, what he can do, the versatility that he has. And so I actually thought, Cody, I think you ran him in this last week in the season long. I thought you were going to actually take the weekly high points as well, just because of the fact that, but unfortunately, some other guys came through.
Well, you had 100. You had more than me. You almost had high point. I think it was between you and one guy with like you and Josh, I believe, like 4 or 5 points over 160 again.
Brock Bowers.
Throttling
no more. Hit the dance with it. It's
he
brought it home.
Athletics fantasy rookies.
I tried to talk to him. I tried to tell the people.
Yeah, I mean the week was crazy to say the least. The Steelers, who we'll talk about tonight, beat the Ravens, and then obviously your Jags got railroaded, and then the Taysom Hill Bowl. I mean, he destroyed Cleveland single-handedly.
Yep.
And then
Go Saints.
The Colts got this guy right here. The GM for the Jet fired, out of there, gone. I mean, Woody Johnson, their owner, was like talking about like a few weeks ago that he was like, it's come out now that it's like, oh, he wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers before they got Devontae Adams, and then they get Devontae Adams, and he's like, oh, we want to bench the quarterback, but we're just going to bring in his best friend. Like what? And then it's Joe's fault. The guy that drafted Garrett Wilson and the guy that drafted Jalen Johnson or Jermaine Johnson, whatever, and Sauce and all these Breece Hall and these dudes that are the best players on the team, but he's the one that gets the axe. After ain't nobody else, I guess, the axe, I guess.
Someone's got to fall on the sword.
He just got to fire himself, dude. Like, that dude just got to fire himself. And then, I mean, you had a few more games here, but I have to say the most surprising one is this guy right here, Josh Allen, knocking off the
Chiefs.
The Chiefs are now that's the worst 9-0 team I think I've ever seen, though.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by that one. I wasn't surprised by that one. I was almost leaning towards that. I just think that
I think we
they
all
just seem to have that formula when they play in regular season. When they play regular season at Buffalo, it's just a kryptonite, and they just seem to kind of have the Chiefs numbers. But let's check them in the playoffs. That's where it seems to get a little sketchy.
Chiefs own them in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think this could be the year that the Chiefs just peter out in the playoffs. I don't know, man. The three-peat's alive and well, man. I don't know.
It's hard to bet against the Chiefs.
The refs and Patrick Mahomes. That's what's hard to bet against, the refs and Patrick Mahomes. But Denver putting it big time on Atlanta. Sean Payton revenge tour, I guess, is also alive and well. And then my honest to God favorite moment of the football week was my Texans just absolutely putting the boot to the damn Cowboys' face and making them bite the curb. Like, literally, we got off the 5-week snide of not having a touchdown in the second half. That was good to see. You got Nico back. He should have scored on that second play of the game. That was bullshit holding. It would just, the NFL loves to just call calls against us like it's their job. And I mean, Cowboys are ass. Like, they're the worst.
I think they're checked out too.
They're so bad.
Unfortunately,
so bad. I mean, it's not even funny. Like, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, I almost feel pity for you at this point. Like, I literally
don't feel pity for them.
I said almost. I didn't say I did.
Talking shit.
Are y'all still them boys though? That's what I need to know.
They deserve this. They deserve everything that's happening to them.
This is like player haters ball. I hope all the bad things in the world happen to you and only you.
Yep, that's it right there. Dallas Cowboy fans need this for maybe 3 more seasons in a row before I feel any pity for them.
I mean, Jerry Jones got to get his head out, man. I think that's a lot of the problem. I mean, it's just
he's making that money.
Oblivious and delirious.
He don't give no shit. He get them checks.
Mega yacht, highest valued team in all of professional sports.
I still would like to see one more head coach come in, get a chance to work with that talent. It's not, I mean, to me, I know we ripped Jerry but a little bit on this, but I mean, I think there is talent on that team. He did get Micah Parsons. It wasn't through, some sort of a trade or anything. They drafted Micah Parsons. They did get CeeDee Lamb. They drafted him. They got good pieces on the offensive line, defense. You got Diggs and Bland. They got a lot of good pieces. I just think sometimes the pressure a little bit becomes too much, and just doesn't end up working out the way you want it to. I think also it's the scheme a little bit. They've changed some offensive coordinators, and it just seems like McCarthy just isn't getting through to that team. Sometimes once they kind of get used to hearing that voice, it's just going in and out, one ear and out the other. And so unfortunately, I'm not a sort of a super Cowboys fan, but I like to see him doing pretty good. So it kind of sucks a little bit.
What's up, Nessa?
Hey, Nessa.
How you doing?
She's a Dolphins fan that lives in Dallas.
I appreciate it.
Respect.
I appreciate it.
Respect that.
Yeah. Dallas doesn't need no more fans.
Yeah, none at all. None at all. But I mean, I was glad to see that we kind of got it situated, and I was good to see that Joe Mixon just is. I love also seeing Joe Mixon do his thing, and for everybody that said that he was washed, that he was declining, all of this crap there in Cincinnati.
Y'all popped off, but y'all still suck. Something's wrong. Y'all are not the same, man. I would not be as excited as you are. Dallas sucks. Y'all look like shit the whole first half of that game. And
the scheme is bad.
It wasn't until like y'all gained that 2-touchdown lead late in the game that Dallas just like lost it.
What's up, Jay?
Y'all look like shit.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but we're the best team in a bad division. Let's just be honest. Like, the division that we're in is ass, and we're the best team. So, and I think that we are possibly the team that's we're the worst division leader right now, obviously.
I mean, I want y'all to snap out of whatever it is, because
the worst division.
I had high hopes for. I mean, even beginning of the season when y'all were talking about season long, I was like, if I was y'all, I'm drafting fucking Texans players in the first round. Like, y'all's offense was killing it last year, and then this year it's like, the fuck happened? That was not
a year's worth of film.
Yeah,
a year's worth of film.
They got studied. Y'all need to switch something.
And Laramie Tunsil is an overpaid and overrated. Laramie Tunsil, at this point, like, dude he's good, but I don't think he's good enough to be warranting the money that we're wasting on him. For every damn week he has multiple penalties. He's not like he's Jawan Taylor for the freaking Chiefs, who gets penalized all the time, but that dude don't get paid what Laramie Tunsil gets paid. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not, I don't know. It is what it is. And then Bobby Slowick refuses to throw the ball in the second half. I don't understand that shit either, but I don't know if he's throwing like he was supposed to be like head coach, and now he's got the jitters, and like he's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be a head coach now, and he's just running the ball, and he's like, I got Joe Mixon, so what else can go wrong? But it is what it is.
Dude injured is what's going to go wrong. Man, y'all gotta throw that fucking ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then I book into the news here with two Giants quarterbacks. Obviously, Eli Manning is first year eligibility in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Question to you guys, both of you watched his career. Does he belong in the Hall of Fame? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so too. I honestly do.
No, if he's first ballot and all of that, I don't know about all of that, but I do know that eventually he'll find his way into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he does. I mean, he's top 10 in most categories, played 15 seasons, 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He's like a 4-time or 5-time Pro Bowler. I mean,
but I will say that I'm starting to lean a little bit more on the Sanders side, where I kind of feel like we have to be careful with just letting in just any and everybody, because it kind of dilutes, the whole purpose of having a Hall of Fame, and then ultimately no one won't care about that gold jacket. You want to kind of keep that gold jacket as fresh and kind of, only the elite of the elite. And unfortunately, that hurts a lot of people's feelings in the process. But that's the only way you really have to judge it, I think, in the professional sport.
Yeah. Well, I think Eli, anybody. Come on, Jay. The catch,
Nah.
yes. If you're saying he got saved by anybody, he got saved by Spags' defense. Okay, let's just be honest. But that's also the guy that's saved Patrick Mahomes' ass twice. Let's just be real. So if we're talking about being saved,
Defense wins championships.
Exactly. Obviously, Spags does for sure. And then the other Giants quarterback in here, this guy is back. Fucking Tommy Cutlets is back, baby. Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito just put Danny Dimes' ass in the dirt.
He can come back and do one good game, and then
I don't care. I don't care.
Is Daniel Jones done? Is his career done, or you think they just trade him and he kind of does a Sam Darnold somewhere?
I mean, I think he's got to do a Sam Darnold for me to see anything. But think about this. Sam Darnold, I don't think Sam Darnold got the leash that Daniel Jones did. Obviously, he didn't get paid like he did. And then he's got to make what Sam Darnold took 2 stops after. Yeah, 2 stops after he left the Jets to get to the Vikings job, and we weren't even sure he was going to be the starter there if JJ McCarthy didn't get hurt, right?
Yeah.
So let's just be real. Like Daniel Jones's trajectory now is okay. Can I be a backup somewhere for a couple years? Maybe. I mean, shit. Like he sucks, but he's as good as I think he could be serviceable with the right coach. You know, like put him with a right coach somewhere, like somebody that's really going to work with him. Like, I mean, let him be a backup for Bo Nix. I don't know. Like, let him be a backup for somebody that's kind of got the same kind of skill set as him.
Yep.
Like, let him go be the backup to the guy everybody thought he was going to be. Let him go be Josh Allen's backup. Like, let Daniel Jones go be Josh Allen's backup and then learn from a quarterback that everyone said you were going to be the next, or at least the wish.com Temu version of, and let's just keep it moving. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see Tommy Cutlets back, some of Phil's ancestry back there, that Italian blood coming back in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, it's good to see him back. I'm glad to see him back in the league. I thought I called it to be like 3 weeks ago that Tommy DeVito was going to be back starting before the end of the season, and damn, I'm right. Better career winning percentage than Daniel Jones. So,
Jesus.
But I guess we can hop on over to the Millie, since we talking a little news.
Oh, wait! No way! It's a game stack from one of the highest over/under games.
Exactly.
Detroit. Isn't that why we talked about that game?
I know. My thoughts exactly.
Hold on.
What are the chances of that?
Is that Taysom Hill from the Saints that I said this is the only other one?
We called that one out to the side, yeah.
Damn, dude. Well, we got no credentials. We don't know what we're talking about in here.
0.
I mean, the
oh, that's crazy to look at. Aldrich Estime, whatever his fucking name is, only got 5 points. He's in there. Yeah. I played that dude everywhere, but I didn't make it into the money, so I didn't really follow.
I got screwed.
If he did good or not, but that's crazy. He's in there because I played his ass everywhere because he allowed.
Was that an optimizer pick?
I randomly did it because I saw something that said he was starting for them in the backfield.
Okay.
So I was like, I like Denver's defense. Typically, you want to pair a running back with the defense you play. I think I played Denver's defense, and that's why I played him. But
gotcha.
He didn't do good, obviously. But what he did for this lineup was he got you to pay up in other spots because he was so cheap. You can't find a running back that's starting the backfield for 4,500. That's why I played him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean
Gotcha.
The thing here is I don't think I'd ever got to Kendrick Bourne. just because I thought he was behind the other 4 or 3 there.
Definitely not getting to that dude.
I'm getting to Booty or Demario Douglas before I get to Kendrick Bourne, or if I'm here, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
I mean, that's the talk though, right? Because if you have an optimizer, pay attention to optimizer. Booty was chalk. He was like the highest owned player. So if you're looking at him and you're going into a milli maker lineup, you want leverage off of him. It's Bourne all day long is the leverage off of him. My leverage off of him. I went to Curtis Samuel, whole different team, same ballpark of realm. Who did good? I don't know if he did that good. Like I said, I didn't in the money, so I didn't pay too much attention to my lineup, but I went to Curtis Samuel as leverage off of Butte because whatever his name is, everybody was going to him.
I got my I entered the millie. I was entering the millie lineup and I hit the button and the damn thing failed. And I was like, what the just happened? Like everybody wanted to play today. Like this shit was like, and it was an hour before or 45 minutes before kickoff. And usually I can millie lineup's the last one I make just because I've optimized everything else. And then I'm like, let me kind of bounce off the optimizer here, and shit, man, it didn't work for me at all.
All right, that's why I always, when it's late, I always hit the reserve and then I make my lineup so that way they don't fill up on me, because I've had that happen to me before when I try to make lineups late.
I ran a Bo Nix lineup, which you could have run the Bo Nix lineup here. You could have run Bo Nix here with and another player that I said was going to go off was Monty. And you could have pivoted off of Achane and played Monty and outscored this lineup. It would have been a full freaking sled of Lions players, but there it is. You know,
I mean, that was the highest over under on the slate.
Yeah, highest team total. Yeah,
highest team total. We talked about it. That's why we talk about it, right? And the whole game stack is right there, there, straight from it. I was close to the money in the millie, but I wasn't.
Someone was listening. Someone was listening.
You could have saved money. You could have saved money and paid up for the Lions defense, like I told everybody. Saved that money on Achane, scored 5 more points for $700. So you're still missing a 100 somewhere. And
we do fantasy trade questions, Kay. We usually answer all the questions at the end.
Yeah.
But we want to, if you're going to ask us, let us know if it's PPR, half PPR, and let us know who's on your bench and who's in your lineup, because it makes it easier to answer the question.
And if it's a 10-man, 12-man, just a little bit of stats about the scenario you're sitting in, just because it's a little, like Phil said, it's a little easier to make that informed decision.
And by the way, I see my Curtis Samuel now. He costs 200 more than Bourne, and he had 16.80 points. So
there you go.
Bourne was the better play, but it was leverage off of Booty. So I'm sure somebody right here in the top 10 had Curtis Samuel instead of Bourne.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't see it anywhere. I'm just trying to see. I did a.
Yeah, giant squid up there again. Yo, this is a.
Can you see MacMan to see what he had?
I didn't play, so I couldn't see this. I got this directly from DraftKings' website. They did an article on it.
Giant Square was the one
that one was close
last week, dude, and he's in 9th place here. That's pretty impressive.
That is.
But there's I did accidentally luck into like the free one. The free one outscored this line. The free $7,000 game that was free to win $7,000 or whatever.
Yep.
That shit. They scored 253 points. I'm looking at it right now. It's Jared Goff, Achane, Monty, Jawan Jennings, who Phil called, Amon-Ra, Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Called Amon-Ra too.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who Phil called
him.
Jonnu Smith, who we didn't really talk about the Vegas and Miami game.
No.
He did good last week.
But and there's Taysom Hill. And then there's my Detroit Lions defense he paid up for. So, You could have swapped here. You could have swapped plenty of people around here and outscored this lineup. So, but that's a, I mean, that's
lineup though. You can tell, he went straight to the highest projected team total with we said it on here. Jacks can't stop anybody, dude. They're going to eat on them. I think I said the only thing I fear in this game is them getting up by too much and taking the pedal off. And they didn't. They were just they were like, fuck Jacksonville, dude. They have some vendetta against them because they were literally, I would look at the score and be like, wow, they're still scoring. Like fast, too. It's not like they were running it to kill clock. It was like touchdown after touchdown.
I mean, that's the thing. Like I was saying, like y'all were talking about like you didn't really know what running back to go to or if to go to a running back for Detroit. And I was like, you got to go to Monty here because Monty's just the ground and pound guy. And I felt like that's what exactly they were going to do and not have to throw it. I damn sure didn't think they were going to throw it to Amon-Ra St. Brown as many damn times as they did, but they just Jared Goff just kept winging it to him. Like,
dude, I gave that stat where Jax is like the worst in the NFL against the slot, dude, and they had allowed certain like people to just feast on them. So I knew Amon-Ra was going to cook.
Yeah.
But like I was worried about, like you're saying, them taking the pedal off the metal and just running it because they're up by so much, and they didn't give a shit.
Yeah, it was just ground and pound is pretty much what happened, and it was good to see. It was good to see that what we called worked out after the debacle that shit we waded through on Saturday. But man, it was I guess God was watching out for me because my lineup would have never got close. That's why it closed, because my brain was on the Denver Broncos with Bo Nix. And so
I mean that wasn't a bad one. I mean, in my Millie Maker, I ran Tua Tag as my captain. I mean, not as my captain, as my QB, and I paired him with Tyreek Hill. So he didn't do bad. Tua had 23 points on fire in the top spot. So for his price, 6,000, he got essentially the 4X I needed. So that worked. But when you have somebody like Goff with only $300 more and he got you 37, if you don't got him, that breaks the slate. Like that's slate breaking right there. So gotta have him to win.
You don't have Taysom Hill in your lineup here.
That breaks the slate too. Taysom Hill broke the slate. So that's what I mean by break the slate. Like you cannot come in first place without them, at least those two on your team.
Yeah. And I don't think you get first place here without Amon-Ra St. Brown either. And obviously he literally got your over 4X value for his price point. And you don't see that at 8,000 often, like
you don't.
that's 5 times value. So
yeah, that is a solid performance for sure. And it's same for Goff, right? 37, and he only cost 6,000. So he's essentially 6X value over the 4X. Amon-Ra over the 4X. Taysom Hill cost 4,500 and got 46. Dude got 9X his value. So, I mean, eating.
What is this, Jay?
You can get contest links from FC. The fuck is FC?
Fantasy Cruncher? Is that who it is? No, contest, game, Millie Link.
Millie Link.
I have to see what
he's on Game Center. Says it at the top. Game Center.
Yeah, I mean that's where I got this from. The actual Millie's from he's showing. Oh, I know what he's talking about. Like the other ones. Let me see. It says page not found.
Jay just gave you a virus.
I see it now. I see it. Okay, I got you. All right. So to answer Brad's question, the McMahon lineup is a Jameis Winston lineup.
Saints game. Called it.
And then Breece Hall, Josh.
You needed Judy, though.
He does have Judy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you needed Judy with the Jameis and not fucking Tillman.
Jacobs, Khalil Shakir, Jawan Jennings one more time. Jared Judy. Jerry Judy. Okay, I have to give dipshit Dame Dallas, who we banned last week. He made that dumbass joke about Jerry Judy. He's like, Jerry Judy, right?
I remembered someone called Judy.
It was a guy that we banned because he was talking shit. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I will backtrack and say I don't know if you got lucky or if that was an informed decision, but good for you, buddy. If you're watching this on another account, good for you. I'm giving you your
Judy did good the week before with like targets. And because Tillman was high ownership, like the third highest owned, and then everybody off of Tillman, if most people that were leveraging Tillman went to Elijah Moore. So he was perfect leverage off of both. Like if you're like, all right, fuck that, give me Judy. And when I saw him catch that touchdown, I was like, man, dude, like there's no shot. The shit starts to make so much sense, man. When people are chalk and they're high owned and they're in a favorable spot, it's like almost 9 out of 10 times now they shit the bed. And it's the leverage off of them that eats.
Yeah. And then he had Njoku in the tight end. Taysom Hill. There you go. There's your Taysom Hill at number 2 that you had to have in your lineup. And then the Broncos defense, which you could have paid up in here. Actually,
how many points did they have?
What, the Broncos defense?
Yeah.
They had 13 points and they were 2,900. So you could avoided the Dolphins defense here in this Millie winner and played them instead.
I played Minnesota's defense. They got 11, but they were a lot more expensive.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's I mean, Giant Squid down here. My man won it. What, last week? He won it last
week, and he's in 9th this week, dude. He was probably in first for most of this too. Just naturally by being in 9th, he was probably in first a lot of times, and he was at home like, dude, I'm about to win this shit again.
It's golf. Golf. Kane Walker, the third. Brees Hall, Jawan Jennings one more time. Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Taysom Hill, AJ Barner, who I called from Seattle, and the Bears defense. So the 3 points he gave up, if he could have, shit, man, I'm trying to think here. Like he could have 3 points. That
is it.
Monty. If he'd have dumped Kenneth Walker and played Monty, he would have won this. 500, and he would have went up at least the 3 points because Monty had 20 something. So there you go. But
it was a notable back to a high scoring week, that's for sure.
Yeah, 70 over 70 points more or 60 points more than what it was the week before.
Yeah.
So it's I'm glad it's kind of got back up there. It was getting boring. It was boring. And shout out to some of our rough viewers that have stuck in there with us, and our contest winner who's not here tonight, and I know he's not, but he watches the show afterwards. Fresh. We know that you're gonna watch afterwards, and we know that you've been going through it. So hopefully you get back on the winning track because you're not winning from us no more. You won with us, and we put you on the snide. So hopefully you get back to your winning ways in DFS. So, but yeah, let's see what we came here to talk about.
Main event.
Just
I think it's gonna be slow.
37.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's gonna be raining. It's gonna be windy. It's gonna be cold. It's a division rival. I think it's gonna be a Chubb, Najee kicker defense game.
That's very possible. I think. I mean,
I think it's time for the 2-2-2. 2 running backs, 2 defenses, 2 kickers. That wins randomly sometimes. It's freaky. You just got to get the order right. You got to get the captain right. Like which kicker or which running back or which defense is it going to be? But 2-2-2 has won.
I will say that for the Steelers, they've had, I believe, 4 or 5 games this year where they have scored double-digit fantasy points in that game. So if I'm going to lean to one or the other, I think I'm going to lean here, of course, from the defensive rankings as well. But I'm not going to necessarily count out the other side as well, because I believe that the Browns are 7th versus in fantasy points versus the running back. And so then where the logical conclusion is to go running back, it seems like that D line is holding up, and that front seven for the Browns is holding up. It seems like their leaking is in the secondary and in the pass game. So it just kind of then makes me kind of pivot towards maybe do you look at Pickens here? I think I saw he's actually third in the league in receiving yards, if I'm not mistaken. So, but how do you throw it in the rain? So then but I do like the defensive route, probably field goal kicker route, because I think that's what's probably going to win it tomorrow. Maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns scored.
Yeah, Pickens highest owned captain right now, 15%. Yeah. So I think people see what you see, that weakness in the secondary, but I started keying too much in on the weather, the wind, and Wilson. I don't see what other people see in him, man. I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah, it's about Russ.
Yeah,
listen, if anybody, and I'm not taking up for Russ by any stretch, but if anybody knows how to throw the ball in the rain, it's that dude because of all them years in damn Seattle.
True.
That is true, but like watching them against Baltimore, man, like we called that Steelers would win, but it was gross against a Baltimore defense that is like one of the worst in the league with allowing pass yards.
I mean, I told you, Lamar Jackson's terrible against the Steelers.
So but even the Steelers, they kicked like 7 field goals. They could not score the ball, and I have a feeling they're going to run right into that again this week. The same division rival, just a different team in shitty weather.
I mean, I was thinking, what has Nick Chubb done in his career against the Steelers? Well, he's had 151 carries for 717 yards and only scored 3 touchdowns in 10 games.
Damn, man, he's who I wanted to use as my captain, just because he's low owned.
But he said, was it last year in the game that he blew out his knee? He had 64 rushing yards on 10 attempts, and that was like at the beginning. Was that like in the second quarter that he blew his knee out
against them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
maybe I go back to the Chubb. It's either that or a kicker for me, man. I'm not going with Pickens in this weather, especially at the chalky is. Tillman, we just watched when he was high owned that he couldn't perform. Judy is interesting, but he's, almost the same ownership as Tillman, both at 9%.
But I will say, at least for the Judy, to make a case for Judy, I think he's had 2 games of the last 3 where he's had 11 plus targets in those games. And so it seems like Winston's trying to feed him the ball. And so even though it is raining, even though it is cold, they may ultimately have to throw the ball in order to move the ball successfully in this game if the run game gets collapsed. And so it seems like that number one go-to is Judy when it comes to that. So is it a great possibility he goes off? I'm not necessarily sure, just because of the weather and the fact that Steelers defense is top rated.
You might need him in a lineup. Might need Judy in there because of DraftKings. But also, like, let's not forget Winston threw the most touchdowns, but he also threw the most interceptions. So there's a chance that Judy eats and the defense eats. So he could feed both. Judy could be eating and the Steelers defense could be eating in the same lineup.
Okay, so I'm just looking at this. And this is going back to Nick Chubb. Because in that game that Nick Chubb blew out his knee, Jerome Ford had 16 attempts for 106 yards. He had 3 receptions for 25 yards and a touchdown. And then when they played them again, he had 12 attempts for only 31 yards and a touchdown. So what I'm saying is, now, does that make me, because Jerome Ford obviously was the number one after Chubb went off the field, does that make me want to go back to Chubb, like give more fuel to the fire for Chubb here with Jerome Ford putting up 106 yards? Or is that just because there was no tape?
I mean, that's where I was headed today. My mindset was Chubb off of ownership and potential. and weather.
Well, he only got the ball 11 times. I think he did get 4.5 a touch. So it seems like he is definitely finding the gaps when he does get the ball. It was just seems like that last week, probably because the game kind of got a little more pass friendly, that they went away from him. But this game seems like he'll stay within his wheelhouse, where he can definitely continue to be a part of the offensive game plan. And so I could definitely see that leaning more towards that. It's just, again, it's hard to kind of go towards and say definitively about the receiver side, so it kind of leaves you a little bit. Any love for the QBs tomorrow?
No.
I know, Phil, you didn't like Wilson, but any love?
I don't. I mean, no.
I
don't
know. The FSU grad.
I mean, I'm not gonna say you can't play them or you shouldn't. I think if you're mass entering, you probably should have them. If I'm mass entering, I'm just going under the field on them. I'm not fading them, but like if they're gonna be 40% owned, I'm gonna be like 30% owned, 20 to 30% owned. I'm gonna just go heavier on kickers, the running backs. Ford's pissed me off this year because when he was starting, I played him twice as like a sneaky low-owned play, and he didn't do shit. So, of course, I'm not going to play him, and he's going to do something in this game. It's going to piss me off. So,
I about to say Jaylen Warren has 25 carries for 215 yards and a touchdown in 4 games. So the last time that the Browns played Pittsburgh, he had 9 attempts for 129 yards and a touchdown.
Jeez. Well, sounds like they like to run it.
I mean, I like this is this old AFC North grudge match. Drag it through the dirt.
Old school.
Yeah, football here, but
classic.
Give somebody some stats. The captain probability for Cleveland is 21% going to be a wide receiver, 13% going to be a running back for their team. And on the Pittsburgh side, it's going to be 16% going to be a wide receiver for Pittsburgh, or 13% for their running back. So it looks like it's either going to be wide receiver or running back, whoever the captain is. 30% of the time, it's a 3-3 stack. So maybe you just want to do 3 from each team. Put a captain, it actually looks like it's wide receiver 1 too. It's not just any wide receiver. It's wide receiver 1 for Pittsburgh. So that would be Pickens. And then on Cleveland, I'm not sure who that would be. Maybe Tillman.
I think it's probably Judy. Like, considering.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. So, I mean, if I'm playing a wide receiver as captain, I think I'm playing Judy because of ownership. I'm not playing Pickens, not in this weather, not with that ownership. Just not going to happen. But I think I'm going Chubb.
To Jay's point here, I like this. I like the Njoku part because Njoku, he doesn't score touchdowns against the Steelers, but he gets, even with dog shit quarterback play, he averages about 32.8 yards a clip against the Steelers, and that includes 2 games, one in 2018 and one in 2020 where he had 0 yards and 7 yards. But he's had the last 4 he's played against against the Steelers, 89, 9 for 10 or 89 yards and a touchdown, 4 of 5 for 42 and a touchdown, and then he went 4 for 4, 48, and then 7 of 15 for 56. So I think it's the same defense we've been seeing for this team. The defense hasn't changed in Pittsburgh. It's the offense that's changed. So,
damn, I can't believe that only pays 1,600 odds. Seems like it should be more.
Oh, I like that Winston half for interception.
I mean, that's why I think it should be more, but I like that too. And this way, like I said to Brad, dude, he'll throw touchdowns, but he'll also throw interceptions. So there's a chance that
But he'll just keep winging it.
defense is in there, even though they're scoring touchdowns, if they're scoring touchdowns.
I mean, it was just like the Texans being in the lineup the other night against Dallas. So Texas defense was in there.
That's crazy. It's minus 225. Oh my God.
Speaking of betting, we don't have credentials. Would you like to toot your own horn, Phil?
Yeah, I cracked them this past weekend. Sports betting guru. Not only did I absolutely predict the Tyson fight to the perfect tee and hit a parlay on that and a straight bet on that for about $500. Then I also hit a $50 parlay that paid $700 on the what game was that? Cincinnati Bengals game on Thursday. So almost a $1,200 win in 5 days from
Sunday
sports
night.
betting. And it's not like I bet on a team or anything like that. I bet on player props. So that is equivalent to fantasy football, knowing whether or not players are going to perform. Absolutely cracked them.
There you go.
And I posted them in the Facebook group in case anybody wants to see them credentials.
It's on the on the Facebook page and the group. Like we have a private group, and then
got the receipts,
and then we have
the receipts.
The group too. So that's our.
I also posted, a $20,000 DFS win in there. So there's some credentials in there for those who are on other accounts saying we don't got any credentials. So that's in there. I can keep pulling receipts and putting them in there, but I don't want to show off. Thank you, Nessa. Appreciate it. But I say these things to try to help people. I don't tell anybody what to do with their money. I just tell people what
exactly, Jay. Exactly. Even Drew, that was in here. You were talking to him, talking about it with him last week. Messaged me on Thursday night. On Friday,
he
Friday
said that
morning. He's like, I followed that shit, and he's like, that 2 touchdown shit hit, and so
he followed you, Jay. He bet what you bet, and he hit it.
Yeah.
So we're spitting magic in here. Yeah, dude, I want to see everybody win. Like when Cody got that text, that was fire. That means like people are doing shit that we say in here. We're not just talking to be talking.
Nope.
Like when we only talk about the highest over under games and then you see fucking Detroit in the Millie lineup, like that's why we talk about the highest scoring games.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we don't. And like I said, this isn't our first year doing this. Now, if you're new to the podcast, you're new to us this season. This is not the first year we've done this. We have had routine guys that have come back. Jay's been around. Jay's one of our actual friends, but Chandler,
War Eagle.
Nessa's been coming back.
Yeah, Nessa's been coming back.
Fresh.
Nessa's part of the extended Ballers and Briefs family now. She's got her own podcast. So it's we got people that come back, and obviously we're doing something right. Rather it's they just love to hear us talk and like to love to look at our face, or
they like to call us idiots, whatever it is.
Whatever
I'm
it
here
is,
for it, man.
So, and we appreciate it. And then, if there's another way, like we can help y'all out, and then it's something else I've been asked this week on social media is, do we have merch? Yes, we have merch. We have shirts, as if you all can see. We have hats.
By the way, my shirt is nice and soft. This isn't that thick Ricky Dink ass material.
We have koozies.
Feels good.
Stickers. Like, if you guys want something, hit us up on the socials and give me some sizes or whatever you're looking for, and I'll get you the price of what they cost. And we can go from there. But yeah, so just so that y'all know that we do have merch. And we can do so.
Rep the set.
Yes,
in the back.
Not just adults. Yeah. With the QR code. So
QR code and the get different.
And the get different. Yeah. So but yeah, we got them without the QR code, without get different. The boys at Sports for You rep theirs on their show last night. They got them in the package, John and Mark and Nick.
I got my Sports for You shirt. I'll wear it Saturday's podcast.
Yeah.
So they brought it out for us, and they use a green screen. So the green guy in the middle was like their logo bleeding through him. So it was pretty tight. So, but yeah, it was cool to see that, and it's good that we're out here. So, but if anybody's got questions, I know Kay had a question, so we'll get to his question. So, all right.
Oh, I got Pittsburgh tomorrow in this matchup. I think they take it.
I agree.
It's a 3.5 points to.
Actually, I'm gonna go with Cleveland at home. I'm gonna switch it up because I'm a ride Chubb. No homo.
I can't say that no more. That's fine. I think.
No Diddy. No Diddy. Is that the new one? No Diddy. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chubb. I think they pull it out, maybe a field goal.
No homo, and he pulls out the Chubb. I get it. So, I don't know, man. I want to say Cleveland wins just because I want to see this division in shambles, like I really do, personally. So I'll go Cleveland here. I'll take Cleveland at home, just in the dirt and the rain.
No baby oil. Yeah. Diddy bought it all, man. I'm surprised you can even find it on shelves.
Yeah. Costco.
He's like reselling that shit. He's buying that shit like Yeezys and reselling it at different prices.
He was the vendor, man.
I think next week's Thanksgiving too. So
we got
Wednesday podcast should be about the Thanksgiving slate, right?
Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So we'll have that Black Friday Raiders and Kansas City game. That's on Friday.
I'm gonna lose a lot of money that week.
I
usually
go fast forward.
We might get I might have a guest in. My sister's coming into town, so she's been on the podcast before and said, "How do you get into fantasy football?" So I was like, "I got 2 podcasts while you're here." So
perfect.
So don't learn today.
Yeah. So no, it's on Thursday of next week. I was just looking really fast. You got there's a Chicago and Detroit in the morning. The Giants and oh my God, the afternoon game is the Giants at Dallas. I know what game I'm gonna be sleeping through. And then the nighttime game is Miami at Green Bay.
Nice.
And then the Black Friday game is Vegas at Kansas City. So this slate's gonna kind of suck.
I'm picking one quarterback, dog. I'm doing it again. I'm riding the wave. One quarterback, all 20 lineups in the 20 mags. And right now, just off of that comment,
you're a golf.
I'm thinking Love.
I'm
thinking Miami? Love, but I got to go with ownerships. Whoever's the highest owned, I'm going complete opposite. It might even be what's the Italian stallion on Giants there? Yeah, might have to grab.
That's a good one. That's a good one because he's got a little bit of set of wheels too, and that Dallas defense is just straight ass
atrocious. Right now, that's kind of scary because I like golf, I like Love, I like him for that purpose. So,
and Brad, I still hate you for trading away Justin Herbert, and I saw you picked up Caleb Williams instead. I wanted Justin Herbert so bad. I was about to offer you the house for him, and now he's gone, and I'm never going to get him now. So thanks.
Look, I mean, the door's open. I'm always willing. When I see money calling, I pick up. You know what I mean? It's just the way it goes. I always pick the lineup. You know what I mean? If you see money calling, so the door is open. I'm always willing to wheel and deal, and maybe we can get to a conclusion. What we got on these questions?
So Kay says trade away Pickens for James Cook. PPR 10-man, good chances for the playoffs. The notable players are Jamar, Josh Jacobs, Chase Brown, Najee, Pickens, Ladd,
I'm
Need a
just
quarterback though.
looking at
Who's
this.
your
He don't need a running back.
Okay, if
What's
you're
the-
still there, who's your quarterback? I just don't know if you have some like a stack.
He unfortunately drafted ETN, so he's attempted to get Cook, but he likes Pickens in there for the rest of the
Because I
season.
will say
Why does he need
I like
a running back?
I like Marvin Harrison Jr. down the stretch.
Josh Jacobs, Chase Brown, and Najee.
But you
I mean,
got
Chase Brown is.
Najee.
I literally drafted him thinking he was going to be a number one at the beginning of the season. He did not. I'm glad that Zach Moss went down and Chase Brown has essentially carried me recently with the.
Yeah, he has been. Najee gets a fuck ton of volume, and this is PPR. So even though it hasn't really been there, I think there's hope. James Cook obviously is probably better, but like I don't see where you need him.
James Cook
Especially
is
for
RB.
Pickens.
James Cook is RB10. And Najee is RB22.
Is that
The
Marvin Harris Jr.?
The
Think
difference
so.
is 40 points. Yeah, I'm assuming Marv is MHJ. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind the pick. Sometimes Pickens is a little boom or bust a little bit, whereas I think James Cook is been a little bit more steadier, more consistent. But I
George
think
Pickens
Pickens is starting to pick up that vibe with Russell down the stretch here. So if you didn't do it, it wouldn't be the end of the world because I think you can ride that stretch too. You got a solid team here. I don't think it hurts or hurts you to do the trade at all, really. But it's just up to you if you want to kind of ride out with Pickens. Either that's not a bad option. I think you can kind of go either way with this one.
I'm looking to see. Have they had their bye week yet?
I mean, I like Brad's original take, dude. Like, figure out who the quarterback is.
They had their bye is after. Their bye is week 13. So yeah. Oh no, they actually had their bye already. Never mind.
I mean, he's got two Steelers players. It'd be nice if he had Russ Wilson, dude.
Yeah, but Russell Wilson's not winning, no playoffs at this point. I just wish I knew who his quarterback was. And a 10-man, it's got to be somebody good.
So maybe trade Najee for somebody. Yeah, because this lineup doesn't look too hot for 10-man.
He has to have a pretty solid quarterback if this is a 10-man. Most likely, it's got to be it.
That's what I'm assuming.
It has to be.
He's got Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs in PPR is RB15. It's Jamar Chase who's carrying him right now. I mean, Jamar Chase has literally 60 fantasy points more than Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is number 2.
Maybe he has Burrow.
But he has Chase Brown too, and Jamar Chase. So that's been.
I said if he got Burrow, he's hitting
70.
That's what I said, Jay. I want Burrow, dude.
I feel like he would have noted that though.
I feel like that's why he wants Cook, dude. Why else do you want Cook?
He would have said if he would have had a really good quarterback.
He must not
want a Buffalo receiver because he's spreading the ball around and Amari just got there. So maybe he wants the running back to pair.
I don't know, man. The only other, it's the fact he doesn't have a backup quarterback here. Oh, he just says notable players.
It says notable players. I wish you would have given them all.
Yeah.
Okay,
if you're still here, man, like, give us the rest of what you got. Yeah, because this is.
I wouldn't do it based on this information.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
If he got T-Law, he doesn't have good chances for playoffs.
He ain't got T-Law. Ain't no way.
Not up in here.
Jalen Hurts, maybe Baker Mayfield. but he's got to have somebody that's actually. There's got to be some depth here too. At my point, it was. I mean, Lamar Jackson has 273 fantasy points, and Josh Allen has 223. So that's between 1 and 4. So, but if anybody else has questions, we'd love to answer them.
I think we'll get more on Wednesday next week because of Thanksgiving.
Multiple games, and it's getting down to the time of where people are making that fantasy playoff push. I mean, this is week 12, so 5 to 6 more weeks left.
I'm excited for the food in football. Or to eat good while watching football. It's like
okay. This is a Thanksgiving question. I know we haven't. It's not till next week, but I'll ask it to you now. Like, is it? And this is anybody else that's out here wants to answer the question too. Is it ham or turkey?
Ham for me.
Ham or turkey at Thanksgiving? Or
I mean, I gotta have both, but I like the ham more, especially when it's a good one.
What about you, Brad?
I gotta go turkey, definitely for sure. It's not necessarily about the turkey itself. It just doesn't feel like Thanksgiving without the turkey. Yeah. Now, of course, you gotta have your little couple of slices on the side, though. You don't walk away from that ham and just don't pick up anything. If it's available, of course, I'm grabbing, but I gotta have me some turkey.
I gotta have both, dude. But I mean, Thanksgiving is not Thanksgiving without turkey. Like, if y'all are just having ham, that's a little weird. You gotta have both.
We just I ain't cooking no bird no more, man. It's too damn
not to get racist on here, but black people's turkey is just so much better too, dude. Like, I know why Brad said that shit, dude. Like, dude, oh my god, I still have like dreams of some turkey I've had at some black homes, dude. And it's like, man, my family sucks.
Dry, it's just dry
ass shit. They just looks like garlic powder on there. Like, what the hell is this, man?
Looks like the fucking turkey from Chris's vacation, the one that just
thankfully my girl's Latina, that has changed. But damn, they get good in other residences, that is for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna do both, but small ones. Small turkey, a little small turkey breast and
Jay, you ain't no 25-0 on the wishbone. Dude must be grabbing the whole thing, making it unfair for the other party, dude.
I'm 25-0.
I don't know if that question's for me or not, Nessa, but I wasn't the one cooking the turkey growing up. It was the fam.
I'm not frying it. I'm not frying it. I am not that adventurous anymore.
I don't like fried like that though.
I can't. I do not have the experience or the just the time or patience to do that. But I am thankful to God that He has provided the people in my life that are willing to do it for me. And so I just sit back, I kick my feet up around 12, I turn on that game and just start getting ready. And I just know eventually there's going to be a plate come my way. I'm going to eat it and pass out. And that's just in love every minute of it.
That turkey's baked though. I'm not gonna lie. It's in the oven all day.
Oh no, man. I might actually do it in the I've done a smoker before. I've got a smoker, but I'm lazy. I'm a lazy ass.
I tried it once. The smoked turkey. It was different.
It takes fucking long.
I didn't mind it.
Takes too long for me.
I just don't like taste and smoke, or sometimes I taste like the wood chips or whatever. I'm like, nah, it's too much. But baking it, man, and the skin. If the skin is marinated right, dude, I'd be that guy like Cartman, bro, where he eats the skin off of all the chicken and shit. I'd be the guy that ate the skin off the whole turkey, and then everybody goes up there and it's just a skinless turkey. That would be me if I was disrespectful.
And with the right season,
definitely,
100,
definitely. Well, guys, look like we have any more questions, but we appreciate you guys hanging in there with us and all the love and support.
Very much.
We look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday. And like I said, if you guys have thoughts, comments, concerns, social media is where it's at, and we will get back to you ASAP. So
yeah, I posted some interesting information ahead of Dallas's game for everybody. So definitely check the platforms. Appreciate it, Jay.
Appreciate it, Jay. And
let me know what you're doing for Thanksgiving.
Appreciate it, Nessa.
Yeah, Nessa, we appreciate it. And anybody else that's in here watching, we appreciate y'all too. So we will catch you all on Saturday, same place, 6:30, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. So catch y'all then. We appreciate
Adios.
it. Later.